What do you have here?
I have something old and unique for you today. I have a pair of brass duckfoot pistols.
Oh, wow, those are pretty cool.
These are volley pistols that were made for a British naval officer in the 18th century.
You mind if I grab one?
Go right ahead.
I see why they call him a duckfoot. Looks like a little duckfoot.
It does.
Swimming through the water.
I came into the store today to sell an original pair of duckfoot pistols from the 18th century. I'm a gun collector, so I occasionally come across items that are rare and unique. I think $50,000 is a fair price to ask.
That's pretty cool. It's got 4 barrels and just one little igniter point.
Correct.
I would hate to have a duel with these.
It's hard to miss.
What were those for?
Flintlock pistols, you know, the traditional single barrel, very difficult to reload and fire again. So imagine you're out on a ship, 60 days, the rum's run out, crew gets a little antsy, they want to mutiny against the captain. So the captain of that ship, he could fire 8 shots at the same time, taking out as many mutineers as possible.
I don't know if I'd want to be the captain on a ship out at sea. Sounds pretty dangerous to me. How does this work?
Well, it loads like a traditional flintlock, except you have to put the powder and the ball in 4 times for each one. But the firing process is the same as a traditional pistol from that time period.
Pretty badass. Even though I'm not supposed to deal with high-priced items, these guns are some of the coolest things that I've seen come into the shop. I can't let this guy walk. It's time to prove to Rick he's not the only one that can wheel and deal. Do they both fire?
Yes, they do.
So they're both in full working order?
Yes.
All right. What do you want to do with them?
I'd like to sell them.
Okay, how much are you looking to get for them? I'm interested.
I'm asking $50,000.
50,000? I mean, it could be possible if you let me take these to the gun range and fire them.
I'm fine with that. I'd like to fire them, too.
All right, well, you got time today?
I'm free all afternoon.
All right, we'll meet out at the gun range in, say, about an hour and a half.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
All right, I'll write the address down. I'll be right back.
Okay. I think once we get out on the range and he actually fires them, I think we're gonna make a deal.
So what do we got here?
I have a pristine pair of duck's foot pistols.
Whoa. Well, those are cool.
Wow. Check that out.
Wow, chum, you actually didn't screw this up.
Told you.
The real term for this is a volley pistol. And the reason they designed this, though, it was for crowd control. So any time that you might have a mass of people trying to get you, you would want a volley pistol in your hand.
Oh, wow.
Now look, you guys see that mark? Has a V and there's a crown over it?
Yeah.
Those are British proof marks. Basically, they passed a law because they didn't want gun makers making bad guns that would blow up and kill people who were firing them. So in England, any time you made a gun, you had to submit it to the proof house. They would put 3 times the amount of powder in it that it was supposed to be able to handle. If it didn't blow up, they stamped it with a V with a crown, means viewed. So each of these barrels is viewed. That's a really good sign.
Sweet. Okay, so it's all right with you if we shoot them?
Yes, go right ahead.
All right, we'll load them up.
I have never seen anyone shoot a pair of duck's foot pistols this old. These were not inexpensive to make. They were very expensive, very high-end. The quality is exceptional. It just doesn't get any better.
All right, there you go, guys. I'll stand back nice and far.
All right, chum. That is cocked and ready to fire. Corey?
Chum, you're first.
Chums didn't all fire at once. They went pop, pop, pop.
Yep.
Me now?
Yeah.
That was not what I was expecting at all. Did I hit anything?
Yeah, you got a hit. Here. And you got there. That's 2, 3, 4.
Oh, wow.
Chum got 1.
You had 4 barrels and you shot the target once.
What?
Never mind. Never mind. Go ahead and handle this, son. I got to get back to the shop. I just want to see him shoot. All right. I'll talk to you later. The duckfoot pistols are really, really neat. I would love to hang out and make a deal with this guy. I just have way too much stuff to do, and Corey can handle it.
So, I mean, I know they're cool, but what are they worth?
They're the real deal. They're rare. They're really early by a known maker, and they fire. These are not inexpensive pistols. I value them at $45,000.
Okay, well, man, I really appreciate you coming down.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Good luck. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
There's a huge market for duck's foot pistols. I do think it's worth for the shop to purchase them because they're never going to see a pair like this again.
So what are you looking to get out of them?
I was looking for 50,000.
You know I can't pay that. I'm more in the $20,000 range. It's not every day that, you know, I got somebody coming in to look for these. Can you come down a little bit, or?
Would you accept 40?
I'll tell you what, man. I could do 30 grand. That's the most I can do.
I can't do 30 grand. A single one of these pistols alone will sell for about 23,000. Would you do 35?
I wouldn't. 30 grand's what I can do.
Sorry, I can't take anything less than 35.
Well, I appreciate it, my man. Maybe
Thank
next
you.
time. Take care.
I wasn't able to make a deal today with the volley pistols, but, you know, I think that I'm gonna have to fend off a whole crowd of buyers once I get them back out there.
What's going on, man?
Not much. How you doing?
Doing good. I got something pretty old here.
Let's take a look.
Got a vampire defense kit.
Wow. Hey, Rick,
What?
check this out.
What do we got here?
A vampire defense kit.
All right. It looks like a real kit for killing vampires. And these things aren't supposed to exist.
Look, you can't see yourself in the mirror.
I have a vampire defense kit. I think the vampire defense kit's over 100 years old. My grandpa got it in 1960, and then I got it when he passed away.
This is truly one of the creepiest things I've ever been around. Just due to the fact that it's real. This is the kind of stuff that would be in a movie or something like that, but this is not a movie prop. It's way well too made. They would never spend this kind of money making this for a movie. It is period from the middle of the 1800s. God, the guns look like 1840s, 1850s.
So it's definitely over 100 years old, is what you're saying.
Oh, it's definitely over 100 years old. I mean, you actually have silver bullets in there. Bram Stoker wrote Dracula in the 1890s, and it sort of caused sort of a fad. Spiritualism is really, really big, you know, like the seances and people really getting into the whole ghost thing. Where did you obtain this?
So Grandpa got this in a estate sale.
Was Grandpa Van Helsing or something like that?
He thought he was, apparently.
I can just see myself in this time period. Never fear, Chum Helsling's here.
Just put it down. And it's so typical, like the early 1850s. Just like a portable shaving kit, you know, we could have 100 different little things on it. We have a rosary, because if you're gonna battle vampires, you're gonna need that.
Is it made out of real silver?
Yeah.
So I don't get it. A wooden stake will kill a vampire, but it has to be a silver bullet. How come a stake doesn't have to be made out of silver?
Because there's no such thing as vampires.
Everyone knows there's vampires, Rick. Haven't you ever seen an interview with a vampire?
Yeah, okay.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
All right.
These pistols look pretty cool. Do they have any markings on them?
Made in London, like the crucifix. They look around 50 caliber, which is a little scary.
It's probably not as scary as coming face to face with a vampire, Rick.
You got some bizarre stuff here, dude. Everything is 100% correct, but vampires don't exist, so I just don't understand who would have this. How much do you want for this?
It's over 100 years old. I was thinking 6 grand.
I've never seen anything in my entire career that even comes similar to compare this to, so I'm gonna give someone a call.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, this is creepy.
I bet you this is the guy who hunted vampires. He looks like a badass to me. He's even got a fanny pack on. Bet you never seen one of these.
What? It's a box.
All I can say is welcome to Creepy Town.
Oh.
I've never seen anything like this in my life.
This thing is fantastic. The term for this is a vampire defense kit.
I mean, would someone really just have this made up as a joke, or?
Well, 1880s, 1890s. This is like the apex of the Victorian fascination with spirituality. You had famous people in society who believed in vampires. It was fascination with the occult.
Okay.
That's interesting. So Philip Burne-Jones, he was an artist in England. He did a painting called The Vampire. And it was this woman vampire over a man who was dead. And it was scandalous, actually, because aggressive women at the time were, you know, something in London society that they did not want. So for a guy who did a painting called The Vampire, for him to have this makes complete sense. Because what a great discussion piece.
Or maybe it could have been built to kill vampires.
I mean, yes, that was the point. This is just unbelievable. Look at that. This is a real mallet. Well, let me take a look at the guns. So the pistols are a matched pair, and they do date from about 1840 to about mid-1850s. That is a big barrel. That's at least a 50 caliber.
Well, you're hunting vampires and werewolves.
Yeah. I wonder if this has like holy water or something in it. Ether.
Okay.
Chum, smell that real quick. I'm kidding, dude. And this is a letter, November 1890. Dear friend, signed Arthur. I can't read that. All right, well, so there's a little bit of paperwork with it.
In today's money, this would have cost $10,000 or $15,000.
Oh, easily. The last one of these that was publicly sold at a major auction house sold for over $25,000.
All right. Thanks, man. I'll call you if I get this.
If you get this, please call me, because I want to do more research on it.
All right.
And maybe shoot the guns. I'm really intrigued by that letter. I'd like to research it just a little more, because maybe it could really unlock the mystery of how this set came to be.
All right. What will you take for it?
I mean, he said 25, so I think I'd be comfortable with 20.
Okay, first off, anyone else would have just gave you the $6,000.
I appreciate that.
I'll give you 15 grand. The 20 guys in the world that want this aren't gonna randomly pop up in the shop.
You go maybe 18.5?
I'll tell you what, I will give you 16 grand. I'm not gonna go any higher. I have to take something like this, sometimes have to wait years to find the right auction to put it in. So 16 grand's it.
I'll let it go for 16.
All right, cool, man. You deal with this because I really don't want to touch anything anymore.
It's all right, Rick. I've got some vampires to slay.
Just put it away and be careful with it. It's a little creepy. Come on, man.
Hey, how's it going?
Go, what's going on?
What do we got here?
Man, I got something. I don't know if you really come across these too often or not. Kind of pull it out here and let you take a look at it, but...
Let me get you something to put it on.
Well, I brought you a shrunken head, man.
Okay, why does it look like my buddy Chum?
I'm at the pawn shop today to hopefully sell my shrunken head. I acquired this from a friend of mine who owns a oddities vintage shop in my town. I always thought it was something really cool, unusual, so I brought it home, put it on my shelf, and everybody walked in my house had something to say about it. About 4 inches tall, it's got real hair on it, and I think it's the real thing. I'm hoping to get $5,000. If I sell the head today, hopefully I can buy me a couple round-trip tickets to Australia.
I've never seen anything like this before. The story is, there was these tribes in the Amazon rainforest, and what they would do with these things is they figured out a way to shrink people's heads, and the whole purpose behind it, I guess, was to show what a tough guy you were. Who wants to mess with a guy with a bunch of heads on his neck? That being said, I really don't know much about it, and it's kind of one of those things where the myth has just become way bigger than the actual thing. Do you mind if I take a look at it?
Oh, that'd be great.
All right, I mean, it looks real, but it's really hard to come across an actual shrunken head. I know somehow, some way, some Europeans came over in the Amazon and saw these things and were like, that's cool, let me buy that. And there's been like a whole black market of making fake ones ever since. So what are you looking to get out of it?
like to get somewhere around $5,000 for it.
Okay, I'll tell you what, do you mind if I do a video chat real quick with a buddy of mine and have him take a look at this?
That would be great.
Give me a few minutes, hang out, I'll be right back, okay?
Cool, thanks. I'm confident that it's a real shrunken head, but we'll leave it up to the experts and see what they have to say about it.
Hey, Bob, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I have what looks like a shrunken head here. So give me an idea, what can you tell me about these things?
Shrunken heads have been around for a long time. So most of them come from Ecuador. So you didn't want to be a traveler or an explorer in this part of Ecuador at the end of the 19th century and end up getting your head shrunk.
And so how would they shrink a head? How were they able to do it even?
It's disgusting. So these are warriors. They've taken a head in battle and they cut up the back of the skull, remove the face off of the skull. The flesh then is turned inside out, and then it's heated with hot sand and rocks, which the heat will cause that skin to shrink. And the more you do this, the smaller and smaller the head will become. If you're a really good head shrinker, you can get a head that's about the size of an orange.
So can you give me an idea on how to tell if this is real or not?
Okay, so about 1930, Ecuador outlawed them, but at that time, the tribes that were making them discovered that if they sold them to tourists, they could make a lot of money. They started doing fakes. So let me take a look. Look inside the nostril.
No nostril.
So the next thing we do, we look at the ears.
I got no ear holes.
Bad sign. I think we got a fake here.
Okay, well, give me an idea of what something like this is worth.
If this guy were real, I would pay 10 grand for it. As a tourist piece, I'd say it's worth 200 bucks.
Okay, I appreciate it, and take care, Bob. Bye.
Take care.
I'm sure you heard me, but clearly it's not real.
Man, I was hoping we had one.
I know you were kind of shooting for the stars when you asked for 5,000 bucks. He said it's worth 200 bucks. I'll give you 200 bucks. It just really reminds me of a buddy of mine, and I kind of want it for myself.
Oh man, you know, I think for 200 bucks, it's worth bringing back and putting on the shelf.
Would you do 300?
No, man, I think I'm just gonna hold on to it.
You know, if you change your mind, I'll be here, but I really appreciate you bringing it in. It was fun.
Great, thanks, man.
Take care.
I'm not gonna lose my head over not selling my shrunken head today, so I'm gonna bring it back home, put it back up on the shelf, and enjoy it for a few more years.
So you're taking us to the Golden Tiki, huh?
I got you guys a gift. What's up, Brandon? How you doing?
Corey, how's it going? You ready?
Hey,
Tell them what I got him.
Let's do this.
okay, on the count of three. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God. You got me a shrunken head.
Pretty awesome.
And with all due respects, we could not leave out the old man.
Nothing says I love you like a shrunken head as a gift. I'm gonna have to say, you guys did get Rick's head a little too small, though. It's usually a little bigger than that, even when it's shrunken.
Thank you, son. It is definitely an original gift. I actually really like him. And I love the old man. He's actually smiling.
He's always smiling. I'd have to say I got the best head of hair there, though.
All right, we need to get back to work, guys. Come on. You guys are just upset because I have the best looking shrunken head. Hi. What is this? The thing they shot Spock out of in Star Trek 2?
Very similar.
Yeah, just lay it down. This thing's got to weigh a ton.
Thank you.
So you have an iron casket.
Yes, this is an 1860s Fisk iron casket.
Okay. This thing just creeps me out.
It is a Civil War era casket that they used to transport over long distances. I'm asking $3,500. For several years, we just had it standing up in the corner of our room and just used it as a conversation piece. You want me to open it?
Nah, not really.
Just a quick peek?
All right, fine, open it. Oh my gosh.
I think it's a watermark.
Sure it's a watermark?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah, you can close it up. deeply creepy. I can't believe these things are so collectible. So where did you get this thing?
I work for a funeral home, and my boss was emptying out the storage area. He asked if I wanted it, and I said, yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. Well, it has to be a Fisk, because late 1840s, Fisk patented the iron casket.
Right.
And they had the patent for several years.
This is the thing for Fisk right here?
Yeah, it's the patent date.
Since they were so form-fitting, there wasn't that much air, so the body preserved for a longer period of time. And remember, this is the 1860s.
Right.
So there wasn't overnight delivery. So if you were, say, in Georgia and you were going to be buried in New York, it could be a few weeks. And if you were in this, there could still be a viewing.
And grave robbers. Actually, it was one of the other reasons that they were made out of cast iron and so heavy, keep people from robbing their graves.
But it's cast iron, it's very brittle.
Right.
You drop this thing, it's gonna shatter.
Right.
But for the day, they were very innovative. This company, I think, probably made a lot of money. Back in the day, most people were buried in a plain wooden casket. But Fisk caskets were designed to help preserve the body. And remember, back then, sometimes it took a few weeks to transport a body. They could get stinky. What do you want to do with this thing?
Well, I'd like to sell it.
All right. What do you want for it?
Well, I'd like to get $3,500 for it. I have an auction guy that told me back home that he thought that it would take $4,000 at auction.
You know, I actually know this for a fact that these things actually, people do collect these things. And I would like to make you an offer.
Okay.
But it's creepy.
What if I came down off the 35?
No, it's
$2,750.
You know,
you'll sell it for $4,000.
You know, I'm sure there's money to be made with this thing somewhere. It's just, unfortunately, it's not for me. Nice meeting you.
I was a little disappointed that he didn't want to buy it. He seemed pretty creeped out. I think opening it probably made him not want to buy it even more.
Okay, that's not normal.
It's definitely different.
Put it down on this, man.
Sure.
So I'm guessing it's a skull, right?
Yes, it's a skull. It's called an Osmat Ancestor skull. The Osmat are a tribal people of New Guinea, and they're well known for their ritual veneration of their ancestors.
How'd you come about getting it?
I'm a collector and dealer of human skulls and other odd things.
That's kind of creepy, man.
Coming down to the pawn shop today to try and sell my Osmat Ancestor skull. Hard to find them like this in this kind of shape with this kind of headdress on it. I'm asking $2,100 for this piece. It's in really good condition, so I think we can make a deal.
This is pretty interesting. In the Asmat region in New Guinea, there's literally hundreds, if not thousands, of different tribes. They have all kinds of crazy rituals. We've all heard the stories about headhunters and cannibalism and the shrunken heads. This is the region where those legends got started. In the 60s, Michael Rockefeller was over there filming a documentary and was in a boat accident and apparently swam to shore, and legend has it that he was eaten by these people.
Yeah.
They never found any remains or anything, but when your dad's the governor of New York and you're from one of the richest, most well-known families in America and you just show up missing in New Guinea, you know, imaginations are gonna run wild. You know, who knows actually what happened to him?
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is probably a tourist piece?
Yes, this is a tourist piece.
Obviously, it is a real skull, that's for sure. You know, you can see, like, the bones, so you can see the porous parts of it. You can tell with the teeth. Probably from a really undeveloped place like New Guinea. So what are you looking to do with it?
I'm looking to get $2,100 for it.
Okay. Well, we got a problem there, then. Now, you said you're a dealer and you're a collector of skulls. So you know as well as I do, I could buy a skull online right now for $800.
Yeah, it'd be a little damaged. Wouldn't have the cool headdress on it. Wouldn't have the tribal background, but...
Yeah, I mean, who knows what it really actually symbolizes? You know, you can tell me one thing and another guy's gonna tell me another thing and another guy's gonna tell me another thing. This is a really good tourist item. I'd offer you about $600. I mean, if you have a fun story and a fun idea, but it's basically an arts and crafts project on a skull.
I'd like to get a little more. What about $1,400?
How about $800? That really is the most I'm gonna pay you.
I still think it's low, but you know what? I'll just take it.
800?
800.
Deal. Meet me over there.
All right. Settle on 800. It's a little less than I was looking for, but I'll just put that money towards more skulls.
What the f is this?
I'm here today to hopefully sell my Native American totem. This totem has a lot of meaning to me. I've benefited from it spiritually, but it's still in excellent condition. So I won't take any less than $300 for it.
Not to be disrespectful or anything, I don't know anything about this stuff.
This is called a totem,
Like a totem pole?
like a energy totem. It's a spiritual totem. It's used for personal growth. I actually bought it from a medicine woman who I believe was Paiute.
Okay. I'll be honest, when it comes to spiritual stuff, I'm not exactly the guy people come to.
Have you ever seen one like this before?
No, I mean, I've seen some Native American stuff in museums and stuff, but I've never really seen anything like this. I mean, is this a chicken leg on it?
It is. Each particular part has a purpose.
So how does that work?
It's emanating energy.
How much did you want for it?
Well, I paid $350 for it, so I'm wanting to get it around that.
Okay, I mean, just to be honest with you, I can't even tell you if this is in good condition or bad condition. I just don't know.
Well, in my opinion, it's in good condition.
Okay, like I said, I'm just not an expert on it.
It's made by a medicine woman.
Do you have any paperwork with it or anything like that, or?
I do not.
Okay. Right now, I don't know what to think. I couldn't tell you if this was the Sistine Chapel of totem poles or complete crap. I just don't know. I have to have someone look at it and tell me what it's worth.
Well, it's made by a medicine woman.
Okay. Something like this, I just don't know. I do know a girl who does, and I wouldn't be able to purchase it until I talk to her.
I would appreciate that you would.
Okay.
That way you would know the value of it.
Okay. I know totems are an important part of Native American culture, but there's no way I can put out any money until I bring an expert in. Christina, what's up?
Oh, hey.
How's it going?
Good.
This is what I called you about.
Wow, I'm impressed. Wow.
I got it from a medicine woman.
Normally, I would meet with Christina alone on things like this, but I don't know if I want to be alone with this totem. It gives me the creeps.
This is really a complex sculpture. You have different elements created by a medicine person specifically for healing property. The feathers are like antennas. They reach out to you, the owner, wherever you are, give you information, take in information.
If Christina says this thing's special, I believe her. I just don't get why. So is it in good condition, or?
The answer is yes, but it's never perfect. A totem sculpture, it doesn't have to be perfect. It is with spirit, so it's alive. If you look at its eyes, it really connects with the owner. So I'm really excited to see this, and I'm surprised to see this. This is unique.
So how can you tell that this thing's authentic?
You have to trust me on this one.
Do I trust Christina? Yes. Do I have any idea what she's talking about? No. So how much would this thing be worth?
I would estimate around $400.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Thank you.
If I was in the museum business, I would hop all over this totem. But being in the pawn business, I got to make a profit on everything I buy. I really appreciate it after everything Christina's told me about it, but I just don't have the clientele for it.
But there's love and spiritual energy in this piece.
And I can appreciate that, but there's just no way I can make money off that. It was nice meeting you. I mean, I got a real education here. What we got here, son?
Kind of an interesting little collection. Prosthetic eyeballs.
Whoa.
You match up the color to your existing eye, and you just pop them in.
That looks freaky.
Yeah. Well, it's better than having a big hole in your head.
Coming to the pawn shop today, try and sell my collection of 400 plus hand-blown glass eyeballs. Hoping to get about 10 grand for them. The least I'll take's 2,500, so see what we can go from there.
It's an interesting collection. How did you acquire it, son?
From my dad, it was in the optic business. They're all hand-blown glass, 1890s to 1939. I think they're real interesting for how old they are. I mean, having to have all the detail in them. I mean, you got the veins and everything in them.
Back in the day, they didn't have no OSHA or no safety regulation. They had a lot of accidents. You use this instead of an eye patch. Nowadays, glass eyes are not even made out of glass. They're made out of plastic. In fact, they hadn't made them out of glass since around World War II. This looks like a doctor's set. You got different sizes and different colors to match the eye that you have in your head. Tell me what color's my eyes.
I can't never see them. They're always closed. Oh, they're blue.
This is definitely something you don't see every day. But who in the hell are you going to sell them to? Most people's going to find them creepy. So what are you trying to do with these, son?
I'd like to sell them.
How much are you trying to get out of them?
Go and buy some stuff I found online. They're all $25, $30 a piece individually.
At 30 bucks a piece, you're talking about 12 grand here. I was thinking more like 100 bucks. This deal probably ain't gonna happen. They're not that valuable. They made a lot of them and they never wore out, so there's still a lot of them out there. They're just a little bit freaky.
Freaky, this is Vegas. You get people who buy kind of stuff like this all the time.
No, not really. We're gonna pass, friend. I thank you for bringing them in.
No problem, thank you very much. Turned out a little too freaky for them to have in their store, but I'll try and sell them off somewhere else. Someone's got to have a purpose for them.
Hello.
Hey, you're the guy, right?
I'm the guy, I guess.
Okay. I've got something you need.
All right, that looks creepy.
Aww.
What is it?
It's the skeletal paw of a cave bear.
Okay, I thought you were going to say Bigfoot, but
I have a fossilized paw of a cave bear. I got the cave bear paw at a fossil show. I've had it for about 5 years, so I think it's time for it to move. I'm hoping to sell it for about $1,000.
this is from a cave bear. Like we're talking like old, like thousands and thousands of years ago cave bear.
Pleistocene times.
What times?
Pleistocene?
Pleistocene.
Yes. This was back when cavemen were wandering around Europe, and this guy was from Romania, about 20 to 30,000 years old.
Okay. Cave bears more or less died away when the Ice Age went away. They lived in caves, so when these bears did pass away, their bones got a little bit preserved because they were inside caves.
Right. They were sharing the caves with the cavemen.
The only way those two were sharing a cave is if the humans were the meals.
Yeah.
Really cool. So it's all fossilized.
Yes.
Is this all wired together, or?
Wire and I suspect some glue.
Okay. These things are definitely collectible. As a matter of fact, the whole fossil thing is sort of hot right now.
There you go. You need this.
So you're looking to sell this, correct?
I am, yes.
Okay. How much are you looking for?
1,000.
Okay. I have no idea if that's a great price, but I have a friend that's a paleontologist.
Great.
So let me give him a call and have him take a look at it because I'm sort of lost here. I'll be right back.
All right.
This young lady right here has a cave bear claw.
Absolutely. This is Ursus speleus.
What? Okay, hold on. Ursus speleus?
Yeah, we're going to talk some Latin. Ursus speleus is the scientific name of the cave bear. These were massive animals that ranged all over Europe and Asia.
Okay.
Really kind of an interesting fact about the cave bears is everybody thinks they're these big, terrifying carnivores. But studying their teeth, scientists have noticed their teeth started to change from carnivore-based diet to more herbivore-based diet. So believe it or not, these gigantic bears probably ate more vegetables than meat.
But you still wouldn't want to piss them off.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, one swat of a cave bear and, you know, break your neck. These animals are remarkable. They were the size of a Kodiak grizzly, standing 10 or 12 feet tall.
I mean, I've gotten a lot of fossils over the years and stuff like that, so a lot of times, some of these are replaced.
With these cave bear hands and feet, there's so much original material out there that generally it's not really worth it to fake these. But my only concerns would be any kind of damaging preservation, articulating it. A lot of people like to put metal inside of the bones. That's something I would look for. Yeah, I see the metal in there now. So that's typical, it's not ideal. I see some putty work done right here to attach all those ankle bones together. That's also typical. I don't see anything that stands out as unusual.
Okay, so this is all 100% like 30,000-year-old bear.
This specimen is 100% fossil.
So what's it worth? Retail value?
These are super cool because it's a bear paw, but these are fairly common. If this came into the museum, I would appraise it at about $900.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so how much did you want for this?
Well, 1,000, so you're not going to give me 1,000.
No.
What's the best you can offer me?
$400.
Ooh. Can you do 500?
I'll go 4 1/4. That's really the best I can go.
Can you squeak it up to 450?
No. I mean, these things are neat. They do sell, but they take a long time.
Okay, well, I like you. 425. All right.
All right, sweet. I will meet you right over there. We'll do some paperwork. I'll get you paid.
Okay. I went for 425. It was a lot lower than I wanted to go, but I caved.
What do we got here?
I've got something you might be interested in.
Oh my God. What the hell did you do with Chumley?
I came to the pawn shop today to try and sell my shrunken head. I used to own a pawn shop, and this gentleman brought it in, and he never picked it up. So I've been saving it all these years, hoping to get $2,000, but I would settle for $1,500.
So what the hell is this thing?
It's a shrunken head.
All right. Where in the world did you get it?
Basically, someone brought it in and pawned it with me.
Let me see here. Did you get any story with him or anything?
I think he said it was a long-lost relative.
How much did you pawn it for?
Well, I gave him $500 for it.
Okay. I've been in this business for over 20 years, and I can honestly say this is my first shrunken head. Just when you thought you'd seen everything. The shrunken heads came from the Amazon, in South America. The procedure for doing it was they would slice them down the back of the head after they killed them. And then there was a way to remove the skull. Shrinking a head was supposed to give you control over a guy's soul. The problem is tourists started buying them. And then the law of supply and demand kicked in, and so governments in South America had to outlaw the trade. I'm having a few little problems here. I don't think the Amazon warriors had cotton thread, and that's what the back of his head is stitched up with. It doesn't look very aged, okay? Out in the Amazon jungle, someone would have carried this thing around for years and years and years. It's still white.
Right.
I'm gonna call it a fake. A very, very good fake. If it was real, there would be some rotten places. I mean, don't you hope it is fake, sorta?
Well, I hope it is real, because then it'll be worth more money.
If it's real, some poor guy lost his head over it. I don't want it in the shop.
Okay. Thanks for bringing it in. I really appreciate it. Sure. But it's just something I couldn't use. When he said he was a pawnbroker, I was immediately concerned. Because if he couldn't sell it, that means no one wanted it. And that ain't good.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Did you bring me a pet rock or something?
I did.
Tell me what I'm looking at here.
You are looking at a primate hand from the Neanderthal period.
So we're assuming that this is a fossilized version of a hand?
Yes.
It looks like a hand. I mean, it looks like it's missing the middle finger, but that could have been chipped off or worn away. Who knows?
We got mad at somebody. I'm coming into the pawn shop today to hopefully sell my primate hand from the Neanderthal period. My stepfather did some work for a guy who owned a store, and he couldn't afford to pay him, so he paid him with a rock instead. I'm hoping to sell it for $15,000.
This is interesting. Neanderthals, they weren't monkeys per se. They were a little bit more evolved than that. There's traces going back almost 400,000 years ago with them. What we do know about them is that they started off in Africa, and then a bunch of them migrated into Europe. They had relatively developed brains. They did know to clothe themselves. They did know how to create fire. Do you have any paperwork, anything like that?
My stepfather took it to an archaeologist, and it was determined that it was primate hand because there's only 3 bones here instead of the 5.
Okay, what are you looking to do with it?
I want to sell it.
Any idea what you're looking to get?
$15,000.
When it comes to stuff like this, it's really easy to get your hopes up real high.
Right.
There's trillions and trillions of rocks out there, and sometimes some of them just get formed into something that looks like something else. That being said, I don't know exactly if it's a fossil or if it's just a really odd-shaped rock. Do you mind if I have a friend of mine come down and take a look at it?
Absolutely.
He knows this kind of stuff pretty well.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and hang out. I'll give him a call, see if I can get him back.
Awesome, thank you.
What under earth do we have here besides a rock?
A primate hand from the Neanderthal period.
Wow. If this is a Neanderthal fossil, priceless. I mean, they are so rare. Well, let me take a look at this and see what I think we've got here. As I'm looking at the piece, I'm looking to make sure that it really is bone, that it's fossilized, and trying to see what kind of rock that it was formed from. As I look at this rock, I am not seeing bone at all. I'm seeing sand. So I don't think it's a fossil per se. So we've got one of two things going on. It's just basically your eyes playing tricks on you.
Right.
Or we have an actual imprint. His hand goes down, it gets filled over with silt,
Right.
and over the years it hardens and becomes rock. So where did it come from?
Our town, Yucca, Arizona.
So it's from Arizona?
Yes.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know where the rock itself came from, but I don't think it was found in Arizona.
No, because Neanderthals weren't in
Right.
Arizona. They actually lived in Europe.
So, what do you think?
My hunch, and I'm fairly sure about this, it's clearly an imprint. I see what appears to be appendages, but to my eye, these aren't human. I think we've got a dinosaur footprint. And there's a dinosaur called a Parasaurolophus that has a 4 or 5-toed foot. And I think that's what we've got here, with this being the little claw coming off the thumb. So to me, Parasaurolophus bends down to eat, puts his hand in the mud, stands back up, mud gets filled in. 100 million years later, somebody finds it in an old quarry or something, and you've got this.
Never even thought of a dinosaur.
So what would a dinosaur footprint be worth?
One of this size, I'd say $1,000.
All right, well, Bob, I appreciate you coming down.
Always a
Thank you very much.
pleasure.
It was
Thank
nice meeting you.
You bet. People love to collect dinosaur fossils or fossilized footprints. Very, very collectible.
Okay, so you were asking for $15,000. I've got to go with my guy Bob. If I had to make an offer, I'd offer you about $500. You know, I know it's hard to go from $15,000 to $500, but you also thought you had something completely different. That being said, how do you feel about $500?
I think I'm going to go ahead and take it home to my nephews then.
Okay, well, if you ever change your mind, I'm here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I wasn't going to sell it for $500 because it's a dinosaur footprint and my nephews would really enjoy it and they would think it's cool